It's been 86 years since House Corrino led humanity to victory in the crusade against the thinking machines, in a major event known as the Butlerian Jihad. We are introduced to Valya Harkonnen, whose great-grandfather had deserted during the war, which led to House Harkonnen being branded as cowards across the Empire. Alongside her sister Tula, she joined the Sisterhood on the planet Wallach 9, a faction created by Mother Superior Raquella. The Sisterhood's greatest strength lies in their mastery of truth sense, which they utilize to serve as truthsayers for the great houses. This allows them to expand their influence across the Empire, paving the way for their role in shaping its political landscape in the future. Mother Superior Raquella had also started the genetic breeding program. She compiled an extensive genetic archive to orchestrate advantageous royal pairings and create leaders who would remain under the Sisterhood's influence. For the next 10,000 years, they dedicated themselves to this breeding program designed to achieve their ultimate goal, the creation of the Kwisatz Haderach. While many sisters disapproved of this effort, Mother Superior knew that Valya aligned with her vision, and on her deathbed she called for her. After a chilling vision of what lies ahead, she dies, passing the mantle of leadership to her. It's her responsibility now to steer the Sisterhood forward and confront the burning truth. The sisters are convinced that a great reckoning is coming, and they must act by placing one of them on the throne. One of the influential Reverend Mothers opposes the breeding program, and when she attempts to destroy it, Valya uses a new ability called the Voice, forcing her to take her own life with a knife. Fast forward 30 years, Valya is the Mother Superior and the Sisterhood is thriving as their plans are set in motion. Prince Constantine arrives to sign the treaty for his sister, Princess Ynez, who is about to join the Sisterhood. She is currently on Seleucia Secundus, the homeworld of House Corrino, and it's clear she is in love with her swordmaster Kirin Atreides. She wants to learn from the Sisterhood to strengthen her position and power after she gets married. While Emperor Corrino and Duke Richie are engaged in a discussion about the challenges of spice production on Arrakis, the two truthsayers silently communicate through hand signals, clearly prioritizing the interests of the Sisterhood over those of the house they serve. Eventually, it is decided that Princess Ynez will marry the Duke's 9-year-old son. On Wallach 9, the sisters undergo rigorous training, learning to detect lies and mastering pranabindu meditation under harsh conditions. Mother Superior tries to find someone suitable to be paired with the princess to keep her in line. After the incident on Arrakis, the Emperor receives news that one of his soldiers has managed to survive the unforgiving conditions of the desert planet and is here to see him. This is unexpected considering his entire regiment had been wiped out. Desmond Hart reveals that the attack was not carried out by the Fremen, but by insurgents who had stolen the spice. Truthsayer Kasha confirms his honesty, though there is an unspoken tension in their interaction. Following a troubling nightmare, Kasha went into Princess's room and talked to her before she departed for Wallach 9. She meets with Valya and Tula, warning them about the nightmare. She wonders if they might actually create the reckoning they are desperately trying to avoid. Despite her warnings, Valya insists that she must return the next day to Seleucia Secundus and move with their plans forward. After conducting thorough research in the genetic archives, she is certain that Ynez is the ideal choice to secure the stability of the Corrino bloodline for generations. Showing no tolerance for insubordination, Valya thinks Kasha should be removed from her position and dealt with accordingly. During the engagement ceremony, the situation takes a dramatic turn when Pruitt Richie reveals a robotic lizard. This use of prohibited technology sparks outrage and shocks everyone present, but the Emperor decides to let it pass without consequences. That evening, Ynez and Constantine go out for their final party together on Seleucia Secundus. As they enter the club, the lights are red, a curious coincidence given the red theme from Kasha's recent nightmare about Ynez. She then meets Kirin at the bar, and they get high on spice before spending the night together. Back at the palace, Desmond meets with the Emperor, warning him that while the newly deployed troops may resolve the chaos on Arrakis, they won't solve the widespread insurgency threatening the Imperium. The theft of spice is merely a symptom of a much deeper issue, and they have a deep conversation about it. Although concerned about the wedding, The Emperor stands by his decision to put his trust in Kasha, unaware that he is being manipulated. Later that night, the Emperor looks over the footage from Arrakis, which reveals that a sandworm had eaten Desmond. Meanwhile, Desmond finds Pruitt in the palace, who can't sleep because of a nightmare. He points out that even though the war against the machines has been won, the enemy is still hiding in plain sight. He reveals that he's been given a great power and claims that winning the war needs a sacrifice. The widespread theory for what happens next is that Desmond has some kind of psychic power because the boy's skin starts to burn until he dies. This sacrifice ends the wedding, and with it, the plan the Sisterhood has been crafting for decades. Another theory might be that he is a Tleilaxu Gola, and the real Desmond is dead on Arrakis. That same evening on Wallach 9, Kasha dies the same way. Valya watches in disbelief as she burns in the corridor, a strong reference to the burning truth mentioned earlier in the episode.